Okay, you're gonna have to find one.
Right.
Googling advice column did not work out.
All right.
Hi, I'm Ed.
I know who you are.
And
You were completely starting over.
All right, fine.
Do I gotta run the show open again?
We're like 4 minutes into this damn episode. Nothing's happened. There's like at least 40 seconds of silence. Well,
Can't even blame on the kids. They're off.
Awkward. No.
Okay, here we go. September 13th, 2008.
All right.
Stay-at-home mom questions setting example for daughters. I gotta click on it. I probably should have clicked on it before. Oh, okay, it worked. Okay. Stay-at-home mom questions setting example for daughters. Dear Abby, I married my high school sweetheart at 18 and put off college to start the family that we always wanted. 9 years later, we have 3 beautiful daughters. You know, no one ever says, like, we have 3 ugly girls.
Could you just read?
My husband has a great job with a good salary. I've never had to work, but now I feel totally dependent on him. I've expressed my feelings to him about wanting a career. He tells me I already have one, taking care of the family. He says I need to be home with them. Abby, I feel like I should get out of the house and start a career of my own so my daughters don't think their place in the world is to be only a stay-at-home mommy. Don't get me wrong. I love taking care of of my girls, but am I doing long-term damage to them by being so dependent on their father for everything? Texas mommy. A lot of Texas questions coming up.
Those Texas people don't know their ass from home.
All right, so what do you rate this question? Mom's wondering if she's setting a bad example by just being a stay-at-home mom.
You know what? I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling generous about this one. I think that it's an 8. I think it's an 8.
Wow, pretty generous. Okay.
In a good mood. You know what I mean? I had tater tots twice today.
Ooh. Okay.
One batch was tachos.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I wasn't as enthralled with the question. It felt like somewhat of a weak question. You know.
Okay. You think it's weak? I think it's strong.
All right.
I think that she's from a perspective of she got 2 things. She's got like a guy. I know I got to look after the kids, but also maybe if I'm working and doing some stuff and I'm not so reliant, then maybe that's better for them because we got 3 girls. Maybe they shouldn't just maybe this shouldn't be their only female role model as someone that's only educating them, feeding them, and doing everything else. Yeah. Whatever.
But
I think she's fine.
She's very broad on her. I want to start a career. That's really broad. Like what?
I want to start that too.
I want to be an astronaut.
Well, maybe not. Maybe she doesn't want to be an astronaut, but I think she just wants to work, which is fine. I mean, that's good, and I think she could work. But I mean, it's also fine. But if she doesn't feel good about it, anyway, we're getting into advice. Yeah. So let's hear I think it's a good question because there's a lot of answer possibilities.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what dear Abby has to say to this dear Texas mommy. You may think you are asking one question, but it appears you have 2 separate issues that need resolving. Very astute. What would happen to you and the children if something were to happen to your husband? With only a high school education to fall back on, the impact would be life-changing for you and your girls. You ask if you are somehow damaging them because you are a full-time mommy, and yet how can having a mother in the house whose focus is on their welfare and development be damaging? Most children should be so fortunate. The solution to your problem lies in compromise. By that I mean devoting some of your time to taking classes so you can earn a degree when all of your children are in school full time. That way, heaven forbid it should come to this, you'll be able to support yourself and your daughters should the need arise. Going very gloom and dark there at the end.
That's it?
That's it.
That's shitty advice. That's shitty advice.
Take some
That's a
college courses in case your husband dies, because then you'll
That's a-
be fine with that. 12 credit hours will get you
Just totally-
80,000 a year tops.
Totally ignores
Minimum.
the stupendous amount of families that are fine without not fine, but like get
Yeah.
through with one income. Like there's a lot of things she can do. Go get a job and make some extra. Anyway, so yeah, she ignores a whole bunch of stuff and doesn't. Yeah, no, that's terrible advice. No, it's like two maybe.
Two.
I mean,
Two
yeah, I
for
guess it's
you.
decent. She covered like one little thing. Yeah, she kind of noticed a few things, but I don't like it. I give it a 2. I give it a 2.
I agree. A 2. Very weak. She no very
Weak.
specifics on what
Weak.
she should do, career-wise, what to look in. Just start taking some classes.
Some classes.
Yeah, some classes.
Basket
Just
weaving.
in case your husband dies. If he doesn't, then those classes you took are pretty much useless.
Yeah, don't go get a job. Maybe to meet people, fulfill yourself. None of that.
Right.
No like interest in her.
Don't
like
pick
oh,
up any
kids,
crafting
kids,
or
kids could be so lucky as to have a stay-at-home mom.
archery.
Maybe she's not like when she started. She said, "I got 2. You got 2 things." I thought one of them was going to be, yeah. I think you're wanting a little more for your own
Yeah.
self, and you want to look after your kids, and you don't want to have a bad example. So maybe you're seeking, and like if that's the case, you know what I mean. She just ignored that. She's just like, well, you got 2 issues. Your husband could die, and then where are you ignorant wretch, and your poor children going to be if you don't have an education? Like first off, like go take some
All
classes.
right, I have got my worst advice.
Let me finish.
All right.
One thing I gotta say, if she goes and takes some classes, even if they're good classes, and she doesn't get a job, she's not gonna get a good job.
Yeah.
She might as well deliver pizzas. Go.
My worst advice for her. She needs to go out and find herself another man that's going to supplement her income so she can live free from her husband and not have to fully live off of her husband's money. And then also if her husband does die, she's got the other dude.
Dan, she could find a woman that could do that too.
She could. So a man find another man or a
human
woman,
being.
sugar daddy or sugar mommy, to fulfill her outer family needs.
Or sugar trans. I don't know. That's that's terrible advice. Terrible advice.
Thank you.
It's the worst advice. I think she should turn tricks. Just when the kids are at school, I think she should turn tricks.
Just to make her own money?
Yeah.
Are
Turn
you
tricks.
talking about to be a magician?
No, Dan. Yes, I am. No, I'm talking about being a prostitute, sex worker. She could become a professional sex worker. Husband goes to work, kids go to school. She sex works all day, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she's making some money, keep it in a secret bank account.
And she could do whatever hobby she wants. It could be an expensive hobby. It could be whatever.
And her kids will have an example of a working girl. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I think both are bad advice. It's kind of weak. I think a listener could come up with something better.
Yeah.
I certainly.
Well, what do you
didn't
think,
win.
listeners, watchers?
Yeah, who
Watchers
wins?
and
I don't win that way. I think you win. Do you think you win that one?
I think mine was better. I think.
I agree.
think
Mine was simplistic, and a bit talking down to sex workers. It's not. It's
I'm
not
not
a nice
talking
thing.
down to sex workers.
I was.
Oh, yeah.
I'm accusing myself. I'm saying that my worst advice is just become a sex worker. I mean, that's whatever. There's good. That sex work is a perfectly legitimate thing to do. Go ahead, do your thing. I think it's simplistic, and
So I'll
and
call
I think,
it winner, chicken dinner.
Yep. You get the chicken. You get the chicken. I get the tater tots with cheese and baked beans, black beans. They're delicious, man. Tachos. I'm telling you. Dear listeners, readers, watchers, whatever you are, go get some tachos. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Unsolicited. You're supposed to say stay frosty, I think. Still in
Yeah, there was that whole
working on a catchphrase or something. Fart in your hands. See you next week. Fart in your hands.
2 fingers in a bush is worth a fart in a hand.